Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. If this is the first time that you are seeing me, I am the Hermit Tarot and this is my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be a pick a group tarot reading. So we are going to be asking Spirit, the topic of today's reading should I say, is what makes you attractive? And so my intention as the reader is to really use this reading as an opportunity to gas you up, to make you feel good about yourself, and to highlight the different qualities that make you attractive in the eyes of others. We are still in Leo season at the time that I'm filming this reading. However, it is a timeless reading. I'm using Leo's energy to really just focus on your attractive qualities and to hopefully give you a boost to your self-esteem, a healthy stroke to your ego, and make you overall just feel really good about yourself. That is my goal. So the different things that we'll be covering in today's reading, I've got a little list here because there will be an extended as well. So it's going to be a very long reading. A lot of different reasons to love yourself. We're going to have a look at first how strangers see you. So what makes you attractive in the eyes of people who barely know you? We're also going to have a look at how your love interests see you. What makes you attractive in the eyes of your crushes or people who have crushes on you? And then we're also going to look at what makes you attractive in general. So that portion is really from the perspective of people who get to know you well, your close family, your close friends, your close acquaintances, people who get to see you on a regular basis and who know you well. And then we're going to have a look at a self-love card / self-care card, which is like a closing message of support from Spirit on how you can really find ways to love yourself better as well. In the extended reading, we're going to basically follow that same theme of what makes you attractive. Thank you so much to my followers on Instagram for inspiring these extended reading topics. If you would like to be a part of that deciding process in the future, I recommend that you follow me at the.hermit.tarot.shop and pay attention to my stories because I love to incorporate you guys. I need to know what you're into. So Instagram is just a very quick and easy way for me to do that. So thank you so much to the people, because it was 3 different people who suggested these 3 different topics. The first topic we're covering is why are your guides proud of you? Following on that gas up theme, why are your guides proud of you? The second topic in the extended reading will be looking at your strengths and your weaknesses. And it is still a gas up reading, so I'm intending to look at your weaknesses as different variations of your strengths, right? And looking at how your weaknesses in your eyes are actually some of your best qualities. And then we're going to have a look at who you are attracting and what qualities they are most attracted to. If this is someone that you want in your life, we're also going to look at how you can stay in that energy to attract them to you. So that is what we're covering in today's reading on YouTube and in the extended. I just want to give a really quick disclaimer about the extended readings, you guys. First of all, please, 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 please make sure when you purchase an extended reading, you double check that you're purchasing the right extended reading. If you've never bought an extended reading from me before, the way it works is the link in the description box will take you to my website where I store all my current and new extended readings. The page that my extended readings are on will show you a library of all the extended readings going back to February this year. If this is the most recent video that you're watching, then the extended reading will be listed at the top. The most recent extended readings are at the top, and you scroll down to look at the older ones at the bottom. There is going to be a catalog within that section though, so you can swipe to look at the different groups. You'll see the title, what makes you attractive, extended readings, and then if you swipe across, you can see group 2 and group 3. So please make sure if you're not looking for group 1 that you do swipe and that you do double check at the checkout before you purchase it that you've purchased the right reading. Once you've purchased an extended reading, I cannot exchange it because a unique viewing link is created at the time of purchase. So in order to create that link, you have to repurchase the video. And then if you've accidentally purchased the wrong reading, I have to follow up and try to refund you the amount in full, which isn't any stress. The stress is that after I post one of these videos, I usually get a surplus of maybe 50 emails specifically about this video. And then I've got another 50 emails about business. And last week, let me just say, I had 300 emails to go through. So it takes me a long time to get to you, but I have no problem refunding you if you've accidentally purchased the wrong reading. I'm just saying it can take me a long time to get back to you. So please make sure that you double check before you spend any of your hard-earned money that you're getting the product, the service that you especially want for yourself. With that being said, also be sure to make sure that you're not accidentally buying a reading from a scammer or an impersonator. I'm currently not booking any personal readings except for readings with close friends and family in person. So when I do offer personal readings, I will email you if you're on my website subscriber list to update you and let you know. If you haven't received an email saying that I'm in stock currently, and if my website says I'm out of stock, then I'm definitely out of stock. I'm not doing any WhatsApp readings. I never do DMs through Instagram. So please just be careful of that as well. So that is the only disclaimer I have for you. Okay, I just wanted to get that out of the way because I feel so bad when I finally get to people who have emailed me like days ago and they're saying that they've accidentally clicked on the wrong group. So make sure you double check, please, and protect your hard-earned money. So let me introduce you to the groups now. We have 3 groups to choose from. If you're new to pick a group readings, you want to try to pick a group that you are most drawn to. I highly recommend using an intuitive response, seeing which group really activates your niggly intuitive feelings. However, if you struggle to connect to your intuition, I do have a 1-minute meditation that I play after this portion of the video just to guide you towards selecting a group intuitively. It is only a minute, and I personally find it to be very helpful. The goal there is to kind of draw you towards a color, a shape, or a name, anything that may be associated with these 3 groups. So let's introduce them to you, shall we? Starting with group 1 over here. Each of these groups have the strength card to showcase their tarot deck. So the tarot deck associated with group 1 is the Telesma Tarot, and this is the strength card in the Telesma Tarot deck. We have force here, a lot of strong imagery on all of these cards. The Telesma Tarot deck is a very unique deck and the imagery is very striking. So whether you're drawn to the colors, to the different animals or people being used, or whether it's the word force itself, if you are drawn to this card, you are a part of group 1's reading. Group 2, we have the Family Heirlooms Tarot deck, and the strength card in that deck is a lot more playful. It's a very playful and fun deck, this one. Whether you're drawn to the imagery again, the animals, the people, or the name, if you feel drawn to this card, you will be a part of group 2's reading. And next we have group 3. So same deal, very different energy though. Have a look at this card. It's a very different energy to the other 2. Different colors, different imagery. If you are drawn to this card, you will be a part of group 3's reading. This is the Mystic Mondays Tarot deck, and this is the strength card in that deck. So if you do need more time deciding, you can pause the video now, or you can join me in the 1-minute meditation playing after this clip. When you know which of these 3 groups you're feeling most drawn to, be sure to click on your timestamp in the description box. You may have messages in the bonus songs associated with your group as well. And once you click on your timestamp, I'll join you in your reading.
So the first thing I want you to do with me is to take in 2 deep, mindful breaths. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, And in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Now I want you to focus on clearing your mind. It's natural to have thoughts racing at this point. I want you to embrace each thought as it comes and let it slip as quickly as it came in. Focus on clearing and balancing out these thoughts so that they come and go without a desire to be attached to them. And now, with a rested mind, I want you to think of the first group that comes to your mind. It may be a number, it may be an object that I showed you. It could be a specific color, it could be a feeling that you felt when I showed you each of the groups today. When you are ready and when you feel confident, select your group and join me in your reading.
Hi Group 1 and welcome. If you chose the, oh my gosh, how do I say this? The SayPa Tarot deck. I haven't used this deck in a while. I'm pretty sure it's the SayPa. I would have introduced it right in the intro. But if you chose that deck and this strength card or force card in this deck, then this is going to be your reading. Welcome. So Group 1, today we're asking Spirit, what makes you attractive? This is going to be a reading that is intended to really like gas you up, hype you up, make you feel good about yourself, especially considering we're in Leo season. In my opinion, we're in peak Leo season. I associate August with Leo, only because my mother's a Leo and her birthday's in August. So it's going to be very good. A reading that hopefully you can come back to when you're feeling down, just to help gas you up and make you feel good about yourself. So we've got a few things to cover. The first thing we're going to look at is, how do strangers see you? What makes you attractive in the eyes of strangers? And for you, I have pulled a card from this special YouTube tarot deck. This tarot deck only has major arcana cards. So let's see what makes you attractive towards strangers. You pulled the Lovers card. Oh my gosh, the Lovers card. This is strong Gemini energy. So I feel like what makes you attractive in the eyes of strangers is, first of all, you may have this confidence about you, and it could be intimidating at times. When I think of Gemini, I don't necessarily think of always an approachable energy, but there is this curiosity when a Gemini is provoked into conversation. And when a Gemini is kind of feeling safe enough to open up and chat and do what they do best, which is have witty banter and generally just kind of have the kind of conversations that you kind of walk away and go, what the hell did you just say? It makes me think that your communication is a strong reason why strangers find you attractive. And if it's not, like, if they don't have the chance to talk to you, it's your appearance in the sense of your face. So when I think of Gemini in terms of like a physical quality, I always think of Gemini's eyes and like a Gemini's face. I don't necessarily think of anything else. Let me think real quick. Is there any other physical attribute that I would associate with Gemini or Mercury? Maybe your hands, but I want to say it's more your eyes and your face, because that's what I've noticed with Gemini's, touch wood. Y'all use your eyes to really speak to people, even when you're not speaking. So I feel like in general, though, this Lovers card, especially in this deck, it's associated with attraction, beauty, and love. So I would argue that for you guys, for Group 1, strangers find you conventionally attractive. Like, you'd have to be an idiot to think that you're not attractive in some way. So I feel like you have this like classic or conventional beauty about you, but I am going to be clarifying. We're going to get more messages. Clarifying with another deck, my standard, or should I say trusty, Waite Tarot deck, please, Spirit. What makes Group 1 attractive? How do strangers see Group 1? How do strangers see group 1? We have the Tower coming out reversed. How do strangers see group 1? We have the Four of Pentacles coming out upright. And we also have the Three of Cups. This is Gemini energy for sure. We also have some Scorpio and Aries now as well. The back of the deck is the Ten of Cups at this stage. So what makes you attractive? To be honest with you, you do have this hard knock appearance. So maybe you come across as someone who's a bit hard or like intimidating. But I think that most people know that it's just a front. Like most people know that like it's almost a privilege to get into your presence. So with the Tower card reversed, I think that a lot of people try to get your attention, or they try to kind of get close to you. They know what they're getting themselves into though, pursuing you. It doesn't feel like it's easy, or it doesn't feel like it's like a safe thing to do. I almost want to say that there's this feeling as though you're something that is really like, what's the word? It's like it's like good but bad for you at the same time. Like this sounds terrible, but it would be like a diabetic craving sugar. You know, like you have this energy with the Tower reversed of being slightly destructive or chaotic, but in a good way. Like people see you as being somewhat of a thrill to chase, and the strangers see you as being someone who could change their life in a good way. This sounds so weird to describe as an attraction. I feel like y'all attract some maybe like mummy or daddy issues people. Just people who clearly like are looking for a little bit of doom and gloom. Like some sad boys, some sad girl vibes, you know? Like the ones that can appreciate a hard exterior and a soft center. Those kind of strangers get really attracted to you. But I want to say with the Scorpio and Mars vibe, like I can't help but feel like people make assumptions that you're going to bring a lot of excitement. And I think that they even make assumptions that you're into some pretty like kooky stuff. Like in a sexual way, I think they assume that you're into like BDSM, or you're into some hard play, you know? And I feel like that is, maybe it's like a misconception, but there's just this energy of you ooze sexuality with the Tower reversed in a really like devastating way. I think that you are physically attractive, but I think that your energy, and I could see how that's unhelpful to group 1. People kind of make assumptions about what you are looking for and what you can bring into a situation as well. I could see how some of y'all may attract like curious couples as well. If this hasn't happened yet, this could be an issue when you get older, but just a little side note, I could see you guys being unicorns. You'll know what that means if you know what that means, okay? I don't mean to traumatize you. Don't go Googling it, but I could see that as well. Now, with the Four of Pentacles here, I definitely feel like you guys have like this hard exterior. You may even have like tattoos or piercings or like something that makes you look like you're really like tough on the exterior. But I think that that's what makes people attracted to you. For others of you, you could have a plain Jane appearance. In the sense of like you're clean skinned, no piercings, your hair is natural, but you just have this like conventional attractive look about you that most people would go, yes, group 1 is definitely attractive. I also feel like with this Four of Pentacles, there is this feeling of like it's not easy to get close to you as a stranger, right? As a stranger, maybe you come across as someone that's very protected or protective. Either when you're by yourself, you're protecting your own energy, or when you're with other people, it's like they're all around you protecting you. But with the Three of Cups, you also come across as someone who has like a social life that is interesting, and people want to know like who your close friends are. I feel like you attract a lot of people. So like in a situation where you may be going out and brushing shoulders with a lot of people, you give this energy of like people want to be next to you. People want to be around you. You come across as, again, like when you let your hair down or when you're in your peak energy of being very chatty, it looks like people are very curious about like your fun energy and being around you and keeping up with you. You may have a following on social media, or just more than the average person, right? Like a couple of thousand even. And people just really are there to keep up with you and see what you're doing in your free time and who you're hanging around with. Strangers find you attractive because there is this energy of you being very fun and you having like a darker side, but also a very fun side as well. So that is what how strangers see you. Let's have a look at how your love interests see you now. We have, oh my gosh, protoplanetary disk as how your love interests see you. Now I'm going to be reading from the deck for these cards because this deck is still new for me and it's very physics, astronomy. So intuitively what I'm feeling is that your love interests feel like you have to be won over. Like there's something about you that's very coveted. I feel like they assume that a lot of people are trying to get close to you. Like look at these planets trying to peek through this disk. They feel like there's a lot of people that are like chasing you. And I think that what they find attractive is the fact that they know that like other people are attracted to you as well. Let me get messages from the guidebook for this one. Key, please, Spirit. Protoplanetary disk. Excuse me, is P before R? Oh my gosh, my bad. Forgot my alphabet for a second. I should have said that out loud. So in the upright, this is where planets themselves are formed. Something large, concrete, solid, and with endless possibilities brewing. This is a giant incubator. All of this happens around a star. So when this card comes up upright, there's nothing to worry about, also nothing you need to do. Just enjoy the journey. Everything is on its path. When this card is reversed, it almost feels like that energy again of the tower. If this is where planets are formed, then maybe this is where like planets come to get rearranged. You know, like I just saw 1111 on the camera. I think that love interests see you as someone who is very like, you could ruin me type of vibes. There is definitely this feeling of you having options and you being able to make or break somebody. So if you have a following, I want to say that a lot of love interests take that into consideration when they consider approaching you, either because they want to be a part of that limelight or because they need to consider that like everybody else is going to be looking at you and the relationship as well. I need to get tarot. How do love interests see group 1, please, Spirit? How do love interests see group 1? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Wow. How do love interests see group 1? One more card, please, Spirit. Thanking you. At the back of the deck, we have that 5 of Wands, a desire to make a decision. This card in this deck is very much highlighting competition, this feeling of needing to fight for your attention. Love interests see you as someone who has options for sure. They also see you as someone who potentially with that card could bring a lot of drama if they're not ready to kind of face the music with you. I almost feel like this could be just assumptions, right? But because of how you look physically, because you have this conventional beauty about you, there is this feeling of like needing to make it obvious that you are theirs. And before they kind of put themselves in the running, they have to accept the fact that they may need to fight other people off. They have to be clear as well. You kind of give vibes of someone who may not at times be looking for anything serious, and so they need to kind of figure that out as well. But the first 2 cards that came out for you were the Page of Pentacles with the 4 of Wands. And then we also had the Page of Cups reversed with the Four of Swords reversed. So 2 pages, 2 fours, and in different vibes, both reversed and upright. So this is so interesting. There's this mirroring energy of you attracting 2 types of people. You attract people who can be very serious because they recognize your potential and they recognize that it's going to take effort. And so what attracts these kinds of people is the fact that this is something that is worth developing because they see their own personal interest in pursuing you, because they see that you have a lot of potential. These are people who will share similar interests to you, who look similar to you physically, or people who want the same things that you want. Those are also people who may take advantage of your social media following if you have one, because they want that attention. But also, these are people who are patient and who will put in the effort. So with the Four of Wands, these love interests, if they don't turn into relationships, they're the ones that are trying to kind of bring something that you need. They're very complementary and they feel like the two of you would bring a lot of balance and harmony. This is also the type of energy that would want to show you off though. So within that group, we have micro groups of people who kind of want you for their own personal gain of arm candy vibes, but they're attracted to you because they think that you would be complementary and they find that you have so much potential, and it is at times in a selfish way, but they see you as someone who could bring them a lot of like fortune as well. Oof, gosh. And then on this side, group 1, we have the other skew of people who pursue you because they have their emotional issues. And I think that this is the side of people who are like still healing and who are still trying to figure out like how to get in a better emotional available sense. Like these are the people who they see you as someone who it may probably break their heart, but it can't be any worse than where they're currently at. And so that's where you probably end up having really good conversations with some of these love interests, but they don't really pursue a more romantic connection because they either assume that you don't want that like them, or that it's just going to end up in more heartbreak and they're already experiencing heartbreak. So it's interesting, especially if you have Gemini placements, it could be very frustrating because these ones are emotionally checked out from the beginning, but I could see you having really good conversation with them. Just a really hot and cold energy though. Like these are the people who might leave you ghosted as well. And then when they're there, like the conversation flows really, really fresh and funny and witty. They may even tag you in some really cool content and then you don't hear from them again, but they're attracted to you because they feel like you're the same way. Like you don't want anything serious, right? Like we're just friends, wink, wink. Now, it's interesting how all of this comes about because you have attracted so many different types of people that it's very obvious at this point that you are a very attractive person. And it's also obvious that it's difficult for you to maintain romantic connections or to at least weed people out for the benefit of finding the right people who are beneficial to you. Let's keep going though. We're going to use your tarot deck, the Telesma Tarot, and we're going to have a look at what makes you attractive in general. So we've looked at strangers, we've looked at love interests, but in general, people who know you the most, this is the part where like people who actually get to know you will say, oh yeah, you know, like group 1, this is what makes them attractive, right? Not just those strangers, not just those would have, could have, should have love interests, but like the real ones, the ones that stick around. What makes group 1 attractive to the real ones? Ooh. We have the Four of Coins again. Oh my gosh, Four of Pentacles. What makes group 1 attractive to the real ones in their life? We have the Fool reversed. Yes. I just heard, I don't want no scrub. Scrub is a guy. I can't sing. My voice is just coming back. We have the Nine of Coins upright. Oh my gosh. The ones that know you best are like your biggest hype people. They love you and they love who you are. Yeah, we have the Nine of Wands And we also have the Seven of Swords at the back of the deck in the reverse position. The ones that know you best, they think that it's so attractive that you aren't afraid to call people out on their shitty behavior. You're not afraid to be like, hey, that's not cool. Like, not cool, guy. As if you would try to pull a fast one. I think that the people that know you best see you as someone who is actually very authentic. You're someone who is very, very authentic, almost to a fault sometimes, maybe. You may get yourself into some crazy situations because you just kind of, your mouth, that's all I'm going to say. But with the Four of Coins here, it's clear that strangers get that vibe from you as well as your close people. You have a hard exterior. You like to kind of have a protective coating, whether that's in your appearance, the way that you style yourself, or whether that's because with the Four of Coins, it just takes you a while to open up and be authentic. The ones that know you best, they find this attractive about you because they know that you're also very loyal, and they feel like once they're in that inner circle, they're going to be very careful about betrayal, you know? So the ones who know you best, they have that respect of why you're like this. But with the Fool card reversed, they also see you as someone who is not naive. You're no fool. You're someone who has baggage though because of this. What makes you attractive is you may actually have a very unique aesthetic with this Fool card reversed. You could have a very unique way of dressing or presenting yourself physically. Other than that, they feel like you're just a diamond in a dozen. Like, I hope that that's the right expression. Like, you're a diamond in the rough. Let's say that actually. Like, you're very unique. And you aren't easy to replace. There's something about you with the Fool reverse that makes you very, what's the word? Like, cherished. And people probably come to you for very specific reasons as well. Like, they think of you like, oh, Group 1 can help me with that. Group 1 can do that. Group 1's got my back with that. You may even get a lot of referrals. Like, I could see how some of you are business owners with the Nine of Coins here. And I feel like you have a lot of friends like who would be willing to help you out and kind of say like, hey, yeah, why don't you go see my friend Group 1? Like, Group 1 can help with that. I feel like you are a very loyal person. And with the Fool reverse, there is baggage here. But what makes you attractive is the fact that you don't let that shit hold you down, Group 1. The ones that know you the most know that you learn from these things and you may carry it with you, but you kind of wear it as a badge of honor. Like, I'm not ever going to do that again because of this. I also think that at times this happens in the reverse. Under the right circumstances, you may still do some pretty foolish things for the sake of honoring that moment, you know, because I could see how this group, especially if you have Gemini placements, might get a little rowdy at times and just kind of do things spontaneously or do things in a way where, yeah, in hindsight, that was pretty foolish. But at the time, like, it was for the memories, you know? So take that as it resonates. It's kind of splitting here a little bit. With the Nine of Coins, the people who know you really well, they all think that you're very beautiful, but they can also see how hard you've worked to get to the point that you're at in your life. We have 2 nines here. So they not only see you as someone who puts in a lot of effort to be who you are physically, but they also see you as someone who is still putting in effort, as though you are still growing and you have more to look forward to, more potential, more growth, more development. They honestly see you as someone who should not settle, especially when it comes to relationships. That Nine of Coins tells me that you're very abundant. Some of you may be very independent as well, and they see you as someone that isn't easily like tethered to relationships, or you have a lot of reasons why you should be fussy if you're single, you know? I think that this Nine of Coins is people just thinking that your beauty is a representation of so much else that you've managed to work hard for in your life. Is there anything else with that Nine of Coins? For those who have known you for a very long time, I feel like they've been able to see you achieve something, and they really, like, it's not that they're attracted to you because of this, but they find it very admirable that your hard work and your effort, your patience, your planning, paid off to get you to where you are now. And with this Nine of Wands, it just feels like you're someone who doesn't give up easily, especially if it's your ride or die people, if it's your inner circle. What makes you attractive is they know that you have your back. And I feel like you have some really loyal people around you too, because this is how they're seeing you, especially with the Fool and the Four of Coins. Like, they're not going to compromise that. They're not going to take advantage of that or lose that, risk that, you know? So let's have a look at your self-love card. We have be bold, don't be afraid to stand out. Yeah, your closing message from Spirit and gassing you up and what makes you attractive is to be bold and not be afraid to stand out. That has a lot to do with your unique style, your unique aesthetic for some of you, and just the fact that you are loud and proud and unapologetically you. For a lot of you, you don't consider your appearance to be bold until you're put into specific situations where maybe you're dealing with more conservative types, or maybe you're dealing with, you know, like a clinical situation and everybody kind of looks a certain way. I just feel like this advice as self-love or self-care energy is really about enhancing those qualities that bring you a stronger sense of identity and not being afraid of what other people think, because it's clear that the people that love you and know you love that about you, and the people who don't know you, they're not really caring what color your hair is or how long your hair is or how many piercings you have or what kind of tattoos you have, because they're still finding your features, your bone structure, your physical appearance to be very conventionally attractive. So that's what I'm seeing for you on the YouTube portion of What Makes You Attractive Group 1. Let me read out what we're doing in the extended now. I'm going to take this reading into our extended reading on my website, where we will be looking at why your guides are proud of you. We're also going to have a look at your strengths and weaknesses in terms of what makes you attractive, but we're also going to have a look at who you are attracting and what qualities they are most attracted to. We're also going to check at how to stay in that energy to attract that person towards you. So that's what we're covering in the extended reading. The link is in the description box. Make sure you click on group 1. So many, like when I say so many, I mean I had 300 emails last week because I had to take 4 days off for the funeral. So many people accidentally pick the wrong group. So make sure you pick group 1 on my website, and I shall see you there. It's all ready to go. Before you go wherever you're going, group 1, thank you so much for all of your support right here on YouTube. I appreciate your time, your energy, and your support for me, for this community, and for free tarot on YouTube in general. It's been a pleasure to read for you. I hope this reading really lifted your spirits, and feel free to come back if you need that boost. If you have messages in other groups, jump ahead and I shall see you there. Otherwise, I'll connect with you in another video. Bye. Hi group 2 and welcome. If you chose the Strength card from the Family Heirlooms Tarot deck, then this is going to be your reading. Welcome group 2. I'm going to put your tarot deck to the side for now. In today's Pick a Group reading, we're asking Spirit, what makes you attractive? I've got a little list of things to cover in today's reading, and I have pre-shuffled some oracle cards as well. We're going to keep some of those cards off to the side for now and just focus on this one. We're asking Spirit first, how do strangers see you? So what makes you attractive in the eyes of strangers? Wow, the card that we have for you from this deck is the Hanged Man. So it is in the reverse position. I'm not sure if I'll read it in reverse. We'll just take that into consideration, I suppose. But have a good look at this card. Maybe I'll hold it upright so you can read it too. The Hanged Man is a very interesting energy. I feel like you have this mysterious vibe about you. I feel like you have a very feminine energy, a very dreamy energy. You may have very soft features or very deep eyes. You could also have the kind of gaze that is very mesmerizing, or it could be that your eyes, like you're very specific and careful about how you look at people. Like you guys may be a bit shy at times. There is a timid energy about this, but there's also a lot of power in this energy as well. I feel like some of you could have a really doe appearance, like a doughy look in terms of like doe eyes. But But other than that, this hanged man vibe, you could be a bit shyer. You could be a little bit more introverted, at least when strangers see you. Spirit wants it reversed. There is this feeling of you not giving too much of yourself away. I feel like for you, group 2, people are often surprised when they get to know you better because it feels like they're often wrong in terms of their first impression of you is wrong. It feels like it takes a little bit to get to know every aspect of you, either because you're very multifaceted or there's just this part of you that you like to keep separate from random people. That being said, I get this energy of people getting very drawn to you with the Hanged Woman. Like, people may really want to be around you. They may gravitate towards you, and they may be feeling very drawn to you, and they may not know why. And the other thing is, some of you are empaths, you're intuitives, you're knowledgeable, you're psychics. So maybe people are also drawn to you for that. I think that strangers see you as someone who has information that they want, and they get very drawn to you as well. So let's start shuffling some clarifying cards. We're going to get cards from my Waite deck. We'll use your Family Heirlooms tarot deck later on. Spirit, how do strangers see group 2? How do strangers see group 2? How do strangers see group 2? You know what nearly came out? The Hanged Man. The Hanged Man nearly came out again. I was like, oh my gosh, not again. We have the 8 of Swords. How do strangers see group 2? We have the Moon card. Yeah, there's a strong feminine energy about you. This is an energy of mystery, of coming across as timid in some situations, but definitely reserved, observant, and yet highly aware, Spirit is saying. We also have the 9 of Cups reversed. What do strangers find attractive about group 2? So they pick up on the fact that you're reading the room. Yeah, we also have the 9 of Wands. You come across as someone that is guarded. They may, like, bigger, louder personalities may feel like they need to soften themselves down because you come across as someone who's quiet, reserved, and very observant. King of Swords at the back of the deck. You come across as somebody who your presence is felt, but your words are very limited. So that King of Swords tells me that people see you as someone that's very diplomatic. They may even assume that, like, you have a lot to say, but you're just choosing not to say it. They also think that you exist very much internally, like your mind may be very active, or they think that, like, there's a lot more going on inside than there is on the outside. I think that people assume you're very smart as well. They see you as someone that's quite intelligent. I think, though, a lot of people are attracted to the way that you carry yourself. So it could be your walk, like there's all these things that contribute to your presence without speaking. Your walk, the way you carry yourself, your appearance in terms of like your gaze. Your gaze keeps coming up, the way that you look around the room, the way that you stare, the way that you carry your shoulders. It feels like you have this very strong presence. And I think that strangers see you as someone that is very intuitive, very connected, whether that's the word that they would use or not. Sometimes they might just say, oh yeah, nothing goes past this person. They're very observant. With the 8 of Swords here, I feel like strangers see you as someone that is a little bit like those louder personalities. I'm getting that they have to soften themselves. They have to kind of cater for the fact that you're quieter, and they have to kind of acknowledge how maybe their loudness is obnoxious at times around you, group 2. It feels like these are the people who need to kind of be very careful about speaking over you, interrupting you, or just not giving you a chance to speak. Some people, literally, I'm hearing cats got their tongue. Some people that you interact with on a regular basis have never heard you speak. So that's interesting. Strangers see you as a very quiet person. With the Nine of Cups reversed and the Nine of Wands upright, there's this strong energy of never really getting to know the real you. So I feel like you may come across as someone who others speak for, or you may be in a situation where a lot of the people you're seeing lately are seeing like louder voices talk over you, but that doesn't mean that they miss you. Like, people are looking at you like, okay, cool, but like, what is group 2 gonna say? Like, I know what you're gonna say, group 2's companion, but what is group 2 gonna say? I also think with the Nine of Cups reversed, there's this feeling of not getting enough from you. Like, I think strangers find that they can't figure you out. They know that there's more to you, but they can't quite figure you out. I feel like that your eyes just really draw people in, and then the minute you break gaze, it's like, oh gosh, like, what was that? And where is it going? Like, how do I get more of that? Yeah, there's this feeling of not getting what I wanted from them. And that's similar with the Nine of Wands, because it's like people feel like they have to put in a lot of effort to get you to open up. And I think that strangers see you as someone who is very defensive, or someone who is very selective with the energy that they do give to people. But the moon really just ties it all together. The moon over here with the number 18. See, 18 has an 8 in it, but it's also like 9 plus 9 is 18. So it really just ties all this energy together of the 2 9s and the 8. I really feel like people just don't get a good enough reading of you when they first meet you. 9 times out of 10, I think their first impression of you is wrong. And I think that they assume that you're just this really quiet, fragile, doe-like creature that needs to be protected. Like, that's the vibe that I'm getting. So let's have a look at how your love interests see you now. The card I've pulled for you is matter in the reverse position. So this doesn't mean that you don't matter. It just means that your love interests fall in a very similar category of not getting a good understanding of who you are. Your love interests see you as someone who is quite different. I feel like you're not people's usual type, but they feel like there's something about you that they need to kind of get around, if that makes sense. Like, I'm almost getting with matter reversed that you kind of bring in a lot of depth, and it's not what people expect when they first meet you. I think that if you are very spiritual, your appearance may not indicate that, although your energy does. And so your love interests often get surprised by how much you bring. Like, I think if once people get to know you romantically, they kind of see that they've bitten off more than they can handle, or they kind of really quickly need to acclimate and figure out how to deal with the situation that is this deep evolving connection. I almost see like them expecting a solid and getting a liquid instead, you know, with matter reversed. So let's see what the guidebook says about this card before we clarify. I'm hearing that line in Bohemian Rhapsody, nothing really matters to me. So that's interesting. I'm getting a message that for some of you, your love interests don't know how to get your attention. Like, they feel like you're just in your own little world. Like, you just vibe to yourself. Like, what are you even into? What are you interested in? I think people are intrigued because what would usually get a love interest's attention in terms of methods that they would try doesn't work for you, and maybe they have to do something they don't usually do, like talk instead of flex. No. We have concretion, so the concrete, the tangible, structure and basic order, perceivable and detectable through physical methods. Yeah, so when that's in reverse, it's like the usual tricks don't work on group 2. How do I bag up my baddie? It's not working. All that we imagine on our flight makes more sense when we lower it to our height. So these people feel like they have to do things they don't usually do in order to win you over. I also see that you attract a lot of masculines who don't get the chance to be more feminine. Like, you may get some big brutes, some real big rigs opening up to you and getting like very like sentimental and all of a sudden you're hearing all about like their daddy issues, their mummy issues. And it's like, man, I thought this was a first date. Like, really? This is what you're opening with? So I feel like you trigger a lot of like softer vibes, or at least you kind of challenge these sort of 3D hard scaped people to be more soft and emotional and connected. And it's like, not everybody fits the genre, you know what I mean? That's the vibe. It's very interesting, but let's get some more information with tarot. Group 2. So interesting. What is going on here for group 2? How does group 2's love interest see them? Ooh, we have the Ace of Wands. Damn, okay. Oh, okay. How does group 2's love interest see them? I'm trying to say plural, but Spirit's like making my tongue stop. It's interesting. It feels like there's one person in particular that you have your eye on. So how does that person see them? We have the Ace of Swords in the reverse. So you have an Ace upright and an Ace reversed. Interesting. Wow, we have the Queen of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. I'm not surprised. That is pretty your energy. Pretty your energy. That's not even a proper sentence. Ugh. At the back of the deck, we have the Magician. So yeah, I definitely see a lot of smoke and mirrors. I feel people trying to get your attention and then realizing that that don't work on group 2. The usual tricks, like I see it all, sweets. I see it all. I see people like throwing their usual bag of tricks in your direction and you kind of going, okay, cool. Like that's all right. But like, it's not really going to last. I almost feel like you can't be fooled. And I think that some of these things would get your attention because you give people this desire to act really confidently around you or to really put on their best self. Like people are interested in you, group 2. They feel like they need to come in a very masculine energy that is almost like unrealistically confident. And I think that for a lot of you, you may get approached online because of that. Like with the Magician, if your accounts are public, it feels like people are more comfortable approaching you under the guise of something, right? So like an online profile or a bit of alcohol, like in a group of friends, like casually mentioning something and then working their way into something more serious. It's literally like a genre and not everybody fits the genre. So I see that your love interests get very attracted to you. You provoke this like immediate feeling of attraction with the Ace of Wands. You're a bit of a muse though, sweets, and that can sometimes be a burden, can't it? Because you inspire a lot of action, but not everybody can follow through with that energy. So it can be very frustrating for you when you feel that energy manifesting as potential, only for it to not eventuate with the Judgment card reversed. It feels like sometimes it never truly, like there could be a lot of false starts with people as they work up the confidence or as they try to figure out a way to approach you. Some of you guys get very intimidating the closer these people get to you. It's like on a surface level, they're like, oh yeah, that's like a little pretty petite feminine energy. But then as they start to kind of make their move towards you, I feel like they realize that this is a lot more than meets the eye. Judgment reversed makes me think of you needing to kind of focus more on like friendships and having a lot of false starts and reinventions of relationships. Maybe you friend zone a lot of people in the end because you're like, this is just too much and I can't really deal with the messiness. So you're just a friend from now on. Or people just don't even get that close, maybe. But with the Ace of Swords reversed over here, I can't help but feel like you have a lot of people that think about you who just don't ever end up acting upon it. I think a lot of your love interests, unfortunately, due to their own issues, end up talking themselves out of taking action. I think you have a lot of admirers. I think that you feel a lot of people's thoughts. Physically, you have this aspect of your body that is very attractive. I think you would already know what it is. For some of y'all, it's your back, it's your bootay. If you're a masculine, it could be your shoulders. You come across as someone that could be very like strong yet but cuddly. But for all of you, it's like you're physically attractive and you have this beautiful spark that you like in your eyes, I think, with people who are attracted to you. When you look at them, it's like something is ignited. But I see with the Ace of Swords reversed, it's almost an idea that becomes very stagnant and no action is taken. With the Queen of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles, I feel like you carry on this fantasy in people's minds, and a lot of people assume that you're already bagged. Like, I'm sorry to treat you like an object. A lot of people assume that you've already been taken, or that somebody else has already like got you, looking after you, providing for you. Like, you've already got somebody else on your mind. For someone, you know how before I was saying, like, what does their love interest see? How does their love interest see them? And Spirit was like making me say one person. If we come back to that one person who you were thinking about when I started shuffling your love interest perception of you, this person feels like you are so, like, they already have feelings for you. They care about you so much, and they see that you have so much love to give, but there is a feeling of you being unattainable here. And that's how majority of your love interests see you with the Nine of Pentacles reversed. They either get afraid that they aren't able to provide for you to the level of standard that you deserve, or they feel like somebody else already is, or they feel like you do a good enough job of that yourself. Like, what else can I give you? It's an interesting vibe. It feels very emasculated, and it's not your fault. It's nothing you're doing, but it just feels like with the Nine of Pentacles reversed, you bring out certain material insecurities within your love interest because the standard that is you seems to be so high. And again, nothing to feel guilty about. This is just how they see you. They see you as someone who needs to be provided for in a very specific way. And I think with the Queen of Cups, it comes from this like really caring way. Like, it's not a negative emotion. It's a genuine realization of like, wow, group 2 is just so sweet. They're so caring. They're so loving. They're so kind. Like, they deserve the best. And that probably isn't me. Like, it takes a level of self-awareness to be able to go, I could, but I probably like shouldn't. So let's have a look at what makes you attractive now in general with your tarot deck. We're going to talk more about who you are attracting in the extended reading as well, and how they see you, or what they like most about you, I should say. What makes group 2 attractive to those who know them best? What makes group 2 attractive to those who know them best? We have the Nine of Teacups upright. What makes group 2 attractive to those who know them best? Seven of Teacups upright. The Chariot reversed. What makes group 2 attractive to those who know them best? Whoops. We have the Fool. What makes group 2 attractive? And we have the King of Wands reversed. So that's that King of Swords again. At the back of the deck, we have the Death card. Oh my gosh, this deck is slippery. The Death card. So the people that know you, the ones that get really close to you, like your family, your close friends, your close partner, and in terms of not just like someone that you're just getting to know, they see you as someone who has a lot of depth. You have a lot of depth, and you're a very caring, loyal person, a very passionate person, but you're also mysterious. You keep things to yourself. You internalize, and that's just a part of who you are. The ones that know you most trust that if there is something that you need to say, you will find a way to say it to them. I do think that some people make more of an effort to kind of reach out and be like, hey, group 2, like, how are you, if you've been quiet for a while? But others just assume that you're quiet because you need your quiet time. There is a strong feeling of giving you space and personal privacy. So I feel like your close loved ones what they find most attractive about you is your heart. You are a very loving, giving person, and you are big on energy. Like, I feel like they pick up on the fact that you're empathetic. And the Nine of Teacups tells me that you have this presence that can really just warm a room. So they really love that about you. But with the Nine of Teacups, you know how to prioritize your own self-care enough to be able to help them as well if they needed to. And maybe this is something that some of you may grow into. Others of you may be really good at managing your own emotions now. But I feel like this is a group where your loved ones will understand if you need to take time out just to do what is going to make you happy and prioritize your well-being. With the Seven of Teacups, what they love about you is your dreamy, imaginative energy, the fact that you bring like a very Piscean energy with you. You are a romanticizer or a dreamer, a schemer. You're someone who has a lot of ideas, and I feel like at times it can be confusing or it can really create a lot of mixed emotions. But the Seven of Teacups tells me that people love picking your brain and having deep, provocative conversations with you about big issues or a lot of theories maybe. Maybe you're someone that people can have talks to about spirituality in ways that is comfortable, but they know that they're going to get like a decent amount of information from you. It feels like you're someone that people go to have really deep convos with. With the Chariot reversed, I can't help but feel like people actually like that you trust your instincts and that you trust your intuition. They like that you don't rush into things. And what they find attractive about you is the fact that if something doesn't feel right, you aren't afraid to put your hand up and go, I'm not comfortable, or no, I don't want to do that. Or you say to them, like, this doesn't feel right. I feel like some of you may have even helped close family or close friends navigate a situation by giving them intuitive advice and say, hey, I have a bad feeling about this, don't do that. Or you might have said, like, I had a dream about you, I think you should really apply for that job, you will probably get it. It feels like you're really good at like trusting your intuition and your instincts, even if everything in reality in the matrix is saying go, there's a part of you that goes, nah, this doesn't feel right. With the Fool here, they do see you as someone who has the world in front of them in terms of you're someone who has this really maybe goofy, childlike side of you, but they also see you as someone that is kind of innocent and maybe reinventing themselves. If you resonate as someone who has had a really hard life up until now, your loved ones are seeing you as someone who is creating a new beginning for themselves. Whereas for others of you, there is this innocence about you with the Fool card that those that really know you love. They love that you manage to keep things so playful and light. I think the Fool is representative of you embracing new opportunities though, and your loved ones like that you are open to starting things, even if previous things have fallen apart or even if you've been through some difficult struggles. There's this feeling of optimism here that the Fool has, and just being open to new beginnings. With the King of Wands reversed, I feel like your loved ones see you as someone who doesn't actually see how attractive they are. Like the King of Wands reversed tells me that your loved ones, they kind of like that. You don't actually realize like how much you have to offer. You don't actually see yourself accurately. For whatever reason, you don't see how beautiful you are, or you don't see the best qualities. I feel like sometimes you even make yourself really look unattractive on purpose, if that makes sense, or you just don't care about your appearance. I hope that isn't rude, but I feel like I'm almost seeing someone who's like, oh yeah, I looked terrible that day. And this person's like, no, you didn't. Like group 2, you looked like a goddess. You looked like a god. Like you were amazing. There's this feeling of really downplaying reality here with the King of Wands, not realizing something for what it is. And because we're asking what makes you attractive, it makes me think that your loved ones are like, they're actually pretty humble, or they don't realize how attractive they are. They get so carried away in their daydreams, their fantasies, their alternate realities, that they don't realize like how attractive they are, how much attention they get. So let's close your reading by looking at your self-love card from your higher self. We have set your intentions with heart and soul. This card was actually reversed, which really emphasizes this meaning of needing to ground your intentions. It's not that you should be setting intentions. This card is more about the fact that you have so many ideas, so many dreams, so many fantasies, so many goals or intentions. Your higher self is encouraging you to follow that up with action, with genuine intention in terms of what can I do to make this my reality. Your higher self is encouraging you to use your dreams as something that could become your real version of events, not just a form of escapism. Your higher self is also saying that that's what makes you you. You're dreamy for a reason. And I've talked about this in other readings, group 2, but our world needs dreamers. In a world where everything exists so materially, and the internet has kind of made it worse, at least for now. It could potentially make it better. But having so many tangible realities, it really disconnects people from their own creative inspiration and imagination. And the more that we kind of compare our timeline to others without getting a realistic viewpoint of how they got there, the less achievable our goals seem. So our world needs dreamers, but we need people who can kind of showcase what dreams can be. And I feel like without it putting too much pressure on you, your higher self is indicating that something similar to that is in the cards for you in this lifetime. Creating something that you've always dreamed about, that you've always aspired to be, by following through. And it sounded silly maybe when you first told people. Maybe people were like, group 2, that's ridiculous. You can't be an astronaut. You can't be a singer. You can't do this. You can't do that. Your higher self is saying, follow that up. Set your intentions with heart and soul, but follow that up as well with actions. So that's what I'm seeing for you, group 2, in terms of what makes you attractive. We're going to take this reading into the extended now, where we will be having a look at why your guides are so proud of you, what your strengths and your weaknesses are. We're going to get advice around your weaknesses. This is still going to be a gas up reading. And then we're asking Spirit, who are you attracting? What qualities are they most attracted to, and how can you stay in that energy to attract them towards you? So that's what we'll be covering in the extended reading. The link is in the description box. The extended reading will be on my website. And please, group 2, make sure that you click on group 2. If you're viewing my website on a mobile phone or a mobile device, even a tablet, you just swipe and it'll show you all the groups, okay? Make sure you pick the right group, because last week I literally had 300 emails and a lot of them were people who had purchased the wrong group. I can't exchange readings, I can only refund. So if you accidentally pick the wrong group, I'm going to have to filter through a huge list of people before I finally get back to you and am able to refund you for that incorrect purchase. So please be careful, make sure you pick the right group. With that being said, I want to take time to appreciate you and thank you for your time, your energy, and all of your support. Thank you so much for supporting me, this community, and free tarot in general. And I hope to connect with you very, very soon. Bye. Hi group 3, and welcome to your reading. If you chose the Strength card from the Mystic Monday Tarot deck, then this is going to be your reading, so welcome. Excuse me. We've got a lot to cover in your YouTube portion of your reading. We're asking Spirit what makes you attractive, and we're also going to have an extended reading as well. My intention behind this reading, group 3, as I would have said in the intro, is just to really gas you up. I'm hoping that you leave this reading feeling really good about yourself and hopefully just finding out how others see you in a positive way. Because often we always assume the worst. Our minds are honestly really bad neighborhood sometimes. So I'm going to shuffle this deck a little bit, but we're not actually going to use it first. We're going to have a look at how strangers see you first. So to do that, I need to reveal your YouTube card. How do strangers see group 3? Oh, this is so cute. You got the Star card. So strangers see you in a very positive way, sweet soul. I'm getting that some of you have an online presence and that most people discover you online on a social media platform. For others of you, all they have to do is Google your name, okay? There's this feeling of people looking up to you though, group 3, regardless of whether you are a celebrity or not. they look up to you in quite an aspirational way. I feel like people look to you for inspiration, or they just look to you because they genuinely put you on a pedestal. This card is also about having hope and faith. So it makes me think that you give people a reason to feel rested or feel comforted in some way. I have a feeling that your beauty is very striking, like your appearance is very striking, or there is a specific reason why people seek you out, and because of that, they are attracted to you. You know, like you have an interesting skill set, or you offer people a very interesting service, and that is why they're attracted to you. But I have a feeling that this would be my unconventional beauties pile. There's something about you that's a little bit quirky because this is Aquarius energy. Maybe you're a little bit off the cuff, very one of a kind, the most the kind of person that may even feel like a black sheep or an alien at times. Like you don't really feel like you fit in at times, but I feel like people are very attracted to you because of these differences. The other thing with this star card is I have a feeling that there's a very healing energy about you, group 3. And I think that this could also be an issue because often just because we have this ability doesn't mean that we want to use it all the time. It can be very draining to feel like a healer. So I think people are very attracted to you because you have a very healing, almost peaceful energy. But I'm going to put this card down and we're going to shuffle my second deck, which is the Rider-Waite deck. And let's have a look. Renewal is really standing out on that card as well. So, I feel like people think that they come to you for a specific reason is what I'm getting. Like they know what they're getting when they come to you. They know what they're in for, and that's why they seek you out. Spirit, how do strangers see group 3? How do strangers see group 3? We have the 8 of Swords in the reverse position. I feel like some people think that you have the answers, like you've got information that they need. They see you as someone that's liberated, that's free, like you don't have to conform almost, like you don't have the same struggles that the regular person does. The 3 of Wands, and I think that's because of your celebrity. Like people assume that you're a very free person, free-minded, free speech. How do strangers see them? The Fool reverse. So we got more Aquarius energy. How do strangers see group 3? We have the 5 of Wands upright. Okay. At the back of the deck, we have the 2 of Swords. So I feel like strangers, I mean, you have a similar issue to another group. I feel like strangers, it's not that they don't get the right first impression of you. I feel like it's more that they don't get the full picture, right? Like you may have an online or a public image, and then you have the image of you behind closed doors, group 3. And I feel like a lot of people don't get to see you behind closed doors. I feel like there is a persona that you may play. And I feel like a lot of people get attracted to the persona. And then there is that few of people who are like, we don't really know this person. Like, we don't really know a lot about them. They feel like they see you as someone who, first of all, you come across as wise and someone who doesn't kind of, I want to say peaceful. I want to say peaceful as well. But they also see you as someone that gets a lot of attention. And I think that that is where the source of the chaos in your life is in this attention that the 5 of Wands may give for some strangers. And these are people who are of the same, like, I want to say gender. Like, it feels like some people assume that you get a lot of attention romantically and that you get a lot of attention in general. And I feel like people assume that your life is crazy because of that. Like you're always busy or you always have people fighting over you. The other thing is they assume that there is a lot of drama around you. Like it's not easy to get close to you. For some of you, they do believe that while you may come across as a very peaceful person, you attract a lot of drama because of your appearance, because of your attractiveness, if that makes sense. It sounds so bizarre to explain. It's one of those weird things that the human psyche does, though, with assumptions. And when you try to explain it, it just sounds less plausible. But the Three of Wands and the Five of Wands, it makes me think that people wait a long time to kind of get close to you. And some people like go to extreme lengths to fight for your attention. Especially like if you do have some sort of platform, like I could see people sending weird emails to get your attention, or weird DMs to get your attention, you know, or putting up posts and tagging you on them and doing strange things in the posts. Like, but the other reason why the Three of Wands is here is because there is that peacefulness to your energy. And I think that a lot of people are drawn to you, and it may feel like you have a lot of admirers from a distance, like people who are aware of you without you being aware of them. And those are the people that I feel are quite respectful. They're just keeping a watchful eye on what you are creating and what you have to offer, because you have such a presence about you with this Neil deGrasse Tyson card. Like, you have such an all-knowing sort of energy about you, and you do inspire people, so they do want to keep up with you. They do want to see your progress and your growth. That Fool card reversed, though, it does feel like some people, I'm getting that they see that you're not, like, I hope this, how do I describe this? It literally feels like, the way that I would describe it is, the more you show of yourself, the more people warm up to you, because there's this aspect to you that feels untouchable, like you're on a pedestal. But with the Fool card reversed, it's like they're reminded, excuse me, through certain actions that you take, that you are human and that you aren't this sort of unrelatable character. Because it feels like with the Fool card reversed, people see that you may have had some struggles, or you may have some baggage, is the best way to describe it with that card. And they see this baggage as something that doesn't hold you back. You still move forward because of it. You guys may be healers. You may have, you may be a fellow reader even, but it just feels like people kind of like that you are relatable. They can see themselves in you, and they can see struggles that you have had to overcome in order to get to where you are today. So strangers, I mean, they find you to be very aspirational, basically. They're very attracted to, I mean, you have that side where it's like, look at me, look at me, look at me. And then you have this side where it's like, wow. And I feel like this side would be more respectful as well, because they know that you are human and they want to give you space to just go through the motions of life, if that makes sense. I feel like a lot of people love listening to what you have to say, though. If you have any conversation with anyone, it strikes a chord within them, and it makes them kind of go like, even the speech you use, the cadence of your language, like, it feels like what you have to say people listen to. And some people, like, it really resonates. It's even if you're just like, somebody says, hey, beautiful weather we're having, and you're like, yeah, it's been such a wonderful week, I'm so glad it's persisted. Maybe it's just like the way that you speak, people are like, oh wow, yeah. And it really sits with people, I feel. So let's have a look at how your love interests see you now. Oh, okay. I haven't had this card yet in this deck. So your love interests see you as the light curve card. So the way that I interpret this card intuitively, because I'm going to read the message from the deck as well. Excuse me. I just have to blow my nose a little bit. I apologize. It's not a nice sound, but I got unknowingly sick in the middle of this reading again. So I'm doing my best to finish this reading for y'all. With the light curve card, it makes me think of light, well, because obviously we have light waves, sound waves, and I feel like with you, your love interests see you as someone very different, maybe to what they are used to, or they see you as someone that is very multifaceted and someone that they have to almost really tread carefully with, because I feel like for this card to be reversed, you're very attractive to them, but they also see that they have to approach you a certain way in order to get you to see them in that way. Like maybe you have the tendency to friend zone a lot of your love interests is what I'm getting. I'm being drawn back to that Aquarius energy. And I feel like it's not that you don't see them, but maybe you don't see that they are into you in that way, group 3. And so I feel like your love interests almost feel like they need to kind of really persist in the shadows for a minute, like, and just sort of in the shadows of your light, and just concoct a very serious plan of how to approach you. Because I feel like if somebody just comes in friendly, then you immediately kind of friend zone them. And maybe you do for a second think like, oh wow, that person's being really nice. I wonder if there's anything there. But then I think that's where it ends. I don't think that you take it that step further yourself. I feel like 9 times out of 10, you wait for the other person to make it obvious. And that's what your love interests realize. But they see you as someone who they have to take seriously, or they see you as someone who genuine or general, should I say, friendliness doesn't quite create the outcome that they were hoping. Other than that, you're very alluring with this light curve card. It's like moth to the flame type of energy. I feel like the people who are interested in you romantically may even become obsessed with you and just very attached to you, very drawn to your appearance. Some of you have very like haunting looks. Like you have the kind of face that is hard to miss in a crowd. And I feel like it's the way that you speak and you carry yourself as well. Like it's clear that there's a lot more going on to you. Even if you don't show people who you really are, I feel like you give this impression that you have wisdom and you have knowledge and you have hope. And people seem to be very attracted to that around you in general. So let us have a look at what the book says about light curve for you. A changeable wave. Embrace the changes, the variation of the brightness of an object over time. It provides information about the physical processes occurring. We cannot predict how the adventure will unfold. So versatility is key with this card. With that card reversed, I think that some people almost feel like you see them coming. Like if that card is talking about not being able to predict how the adventure will unfold, in the reverse position, I think some of your love interests feel like you see them coming from a mile away. And so some of them are maybe really disheartened by a false start, and then they go, well, I already tried. Like I shot my shot, and like group 3 would have said something if they wanted me. But I think that those that have a really strong desire to pursue something with you, I think that those ones will really realize that they need to focus on building a strong friendship with you first, or they will go the other way and do a really bold act of romantic display. I could see how some of the people in your friend group may have wanted to date you at some point, and now they're just like, oh, that's my friend, you know, and they're like, eek. At one point I was obsessed with you. But I can see how there's this consistency to you that kind of shows your love interests, because this is usually a changeable wave. So in the reverse, it feels like there's a consistency to you that shows your love interests how to treat you. On top of that, though, I almost feel like every now and then there's a time when you unpredictably disappear. And maybe it's because of all this energy or this attention you need to recharge, and so you go ghost mode. And I think that because of that, when your love interests are around you, there's this weird pressure to either be bold and really kind of give as much of their intentions towards you as possible, or they have to reconcile with the fact that they really don't know when they're going to see you next. You know, like I feel like this is a group that may fluctuate between structure, like having a regular routine and consistency, to literally just, well, my body says I need to rest, so today I'm just going to stay at home and not go anywhere, even though it's a Monday and usually I'd be here and there. And so I think that your love interests, like they've learned, the ones that have had crushes on you for a while, they've learned to not expect you to do things, if that makes sense. Like they've learned that you are like a shooting star almost. Sometimes you're there and sometimes you're not. And that's really for those admirers that are at a distance to you, group 3. So Spirit, how does group 3's love interest see them? The Knight of Pentacles reversed. How does group 3's love interest see them? We have the Four of Wands upright. How does group 3's love interest see them? I feel like this is a group that has a lot of love interest, okay? A lot of people are drawn to your light. We have the Devil card. That's that obsessive energy, yeah. How do group 3's love interests see them? How do group 3's love interests see them? We have the Eight of Pentacles upright. And we have the Four of Swords reversed. Yeah, this is basically explaining what I felt before. I feel like you are a very strict or structured person, and you may have a regular routine and you're very consistent. And then there's also this energy of you just disappearing or doing things differently and changing out your plan. I feel like people who are attracted to you because they've found you in regular, like normal settings, like let's say they're people that see you shop at the same store, you know, and you usually do your food shopping every Tuesday, maybe at like 4 p.m. or maybe you're a night owl and you go later or you're early on that day. And I think that people assume when they first see you, and they maybe see you the second time and the third time, oh, this is the time that they go. Well, I'm going to start doing my shopping at this time and try to say hello. And then all of a sudden you like disappear. And maybe they don't see you again for a really long time. But when they do again, it's on a Saturday morning and you're just getting a couple of things. And it's like, what? You know, like I feel like you're the kind of person, and it's interesting because I think that you have a lot of admirers, sweets. And so there are all these people who notice you and they take notice of you and they become interested in you romantically, but they never kind of get the chance to shoot their shot because they get complacent in the way that you are consistent at times. So they see you as someone, first of all, that is very hardworking, very dedicated. You are someone who has this consistency energy about you. And you're also someone who comes across as very grounded, stable. You're a very strong energy. And I think that you're a very physically attractive energy. They see you as someone who is like almost like a temptation. So I think that you would even turn heads of people who, you know, were in relationships, because I feel like with the Devil card being here, there's this strong feeling of being tempted to do things that they wouldn't normally do and kind of using you as a form of escapism or like a kind of an excuse at times. So I feel like people often have this infatuation with you before you've even kind of clicked onto what's going on there, or you've trained yourself not to notice with the Four of Swords reversed, because they also see you as someone who, like, it's not that you're busy, but with the Four of Swords reversed, it's like you always come across as someone that will prioritize themselves first from a place of, if I need to do this for me because it's best for my health, like I'll do it. The best way that I see the Four of Swords reversed is someone who is coming out of healing and someone who is trying to reanimate. And I think that your current love interests, the people who currently have crushes on you now, see you like this. They feel like you're still healing from something, or like you're still recovering from something, and potentially not wanting to kind of have your peace disrupted. So I feel like you do attract a lot of disruptive energies though. And I think that those people consciously know, like, shit, like even though I'm attracted to group 3, if I shoot my shot, like, and I can't offer anything stable, like I'm probably just going to ruin their peace. So I feel like a lot of people hold themselves back. And I think that not a lot of people actually end up coming forward for you, group 3, and making it clear. I don't think that you get a lot of people like genuinely asking you out with the Knight of Pentacles reversed. It feels like it takes either a really long time or a very spontaneous, bold action. A lot of people assume with the Knight of Pentacles reverse that if you're interested, you'll make it obvious, or that maybe you'll take your shot first, or others maybe even assume that you're in another relationship or that you're not looking for what they are wanting to provide. They assume that you're someone that has another side to you though as well, because I feel like they see you in a very passionate way, with the devil being here. There's this feeling of being like infatuated with you. So I think that they assume, or maybe they just create fantasies in their mind of you doing things that are completely opposite to this image that you portray, this pure image. They imagine like a dark side to you as well, like this not so nice girl image as well. So very interesting. I feel like I could do a whole reading on that for you guys, because you attract a lot of attention. But I do need to move forward. We're going to use your Mystic Mondays deck now. And we're going to have a look at what makes you attractive in general. What makes beautiful group 3 with their Starry-R. So I was going to say Starry Derriere, but I really, I really shouldn't. Okay. Group 3. What makes group 3 attractive? Oh. Okay. King of Pentacles. Okay. Look at you. What makes group 3 attractive? The Sun reversed. What makes group 3 attractive? Oh, the Ten of Wands reversed. Oh, it's upright now. Okay. What makes group 3 attractive? We'll take those two. The back of the deck, we have the Hanged Woman reversed. So the two cards that came out were Temperance and the Three of Swords reversed. Very similar energies, so I'm glad they came out together. Okay. So in terms of what makes you attractive in general, with the Hanged Woman reverse, you're very wise beings. And I feel like there's this intuitive nature to you, but I also could see how sometimes you like to just kind of live in the moment. There's this energy of being cautious, but there's also this energy of like, if you know better, then you're going to do better. I feel like with the Hanged Woman reversed, you guys make sure that you have the right point of view of a situation before you take any big action. Excuse me. So this looks like someone who constantly is checking, and maybe your intuition is saying like, hey, group 3, like it's safe, just do it. But in experience, sometimes if your intuition hasn't been 100% accurate and the situation hasn't presented itself in the best way, you've learned to wait for further confirmation from the universe that it's the right time to do something. I feel like you are very wise though, in like an intuitive way, but also through experience. And I think that you sometimes doubt that. So there's this humble energy about you, this energy of not realizing how much knowledge you have. And I think that that kind of makes you attractive, because people are looking at you as someone that underestimates themselves. So instantly there's this likable energy about you, right? It gives me that archetype of like the girl next door, the boy next door, like a character that doesn't necessarily see how amazing they are, you know? I hope that's the best analogy to use. That's how I see the boy, girl next door, but maybe that's not the best way to explain that. With the King of Pentacles, you are very successful and you come across as someone that is self-made, someone that has a lot of potential ahead of them, as well as a lot of success currently. And we measure success in many ways, but this is material success for some of you, money and career success. I think that for others of you, materially, you are meant to be abundant in this lifetime, blessed in the bank. And I think this King of Pentacles is just a manifestation of your hard work and the challenges you overcome materially, as well as that consistency that people seem to be drawn to with you when it comes to they're attracted to you for how hardworking you are. The King of Pentacles can also be a very attractive person, but it's more so because they know how to take care of themselves as well. So I feel like what makes you attractive is how you've learned to look after yourself and how you've learned to groom yourself and take care of your physical vessel in a way where you've been able, or you are able, to bring out the best side of yourself physically. Like, you know how to make yourself feel and look grown up based on physical resources, and how you brush your hair, how you choose to wash your face, how you choose to lotion your body, or, you know, wear certain makeup or clothing, and do your hair and all of that stuff. There's a strong feeling of you having a strong material presence in this world that is very attractive. But with the sun reversed here, I feel like there's this energy about you of being very realistic, and you have a really high vibrational energy, but you also have this very down to earth energy. And I think that the sun is reversed because it feels like you're a realist. And while I think that you can be very, very like happy and bubbly, I also see you more so being able to talk through serious situations in a way that helps people process it, and it doesn't make the situation feel too heavy, because a sun card for me can never be really sad. It can be at times less optimistic, but I feel like what makes you attractive is you're a realist. You see things for what they are. You don't like looking at the glass sort of half full all the time. You like to be real about what's going on. And I think that people really pick that up with you. They see you as an authentic person. With the Ten of Wands being here, I'm hearing you tell it how it is. With the Ten of Wands being here, remember this card was reversed initially. I think that Spirit's saying what makes you attractive is you have this ability to go above and beyond for something that you're very passionate about. You may exhaust yourself, pushing yourself to your limits, and really just doing what you feel you need to do as a sense of responsibility, creating at times unnecessary burdens. But I think that it goes the other way as well. I think that with this group, you've also learned how to have boundaries and kind of say, like, no, I can't do that today. Or no, I really, like, I don't have the capacity, I don't have the time, I don't have the energy. And so I feel like, first of all, what makes you attractive is that you do have this hard-working spirit about you. And I feel like people that get to know you even just a little bit can see that you are someone that has a lot of stamina. And when you want to do something, you seem to be able to really put your mind to it and do it, regardless of how limited you are energetically or physically. Your mind, your spirit is just so determined to get it done. And with Temperance here, you come across as a very healing person, group 3. Like, I can't stress that enough. This is another card talking about healing, and this is talking about balancing your energy to get back into a state of feeling balanced, which can look like healing, because we have to first reconcile that energy and understand how some of that energy was overspent and how other aspects of our energy were being underutilized. So there is this feeling of you being able to balance yourself out. And I think that when your life is really thriving and flourishing, people, a lot of different people may have the pleasure of getting to see you within one setting. Like, I could see how this is the group where you may have a day where you cross paths with so many different people, but if you've managed your energy well, to you, you can go home and feel balanced and restored at the end of the day. And it's not until you see that last person and they say, like, hey, group 3, what were you doing today, that you are able to say, oh, you know, I had this morning, this in the afternoon, and then at lunchtime I actually did this, and right before I saw you, I saw this person. And maybe it takes for other people to point out, but you come across as someone who you're able to touch a lot of different lives, and you have a very balanced way of doing it. And I think that a lot of people maybe overestimate that. I think that it could take a lot out of you because that's a lot of energy being exchanged. But I feel like it makes you attractive because people know, like, well, they hope that if it is too much, you'll say. So they really appreciate any time you give to them, is what I feel, any energy you give to them. But the other reason why Temperance is here is there is this optimistic energy about you, this very healing energy. Although you're realistic and you have a way of really kind of approaching the situation with a flavor of reality, I also think that you are this very high vibrational energy, and even if you don't have a lot to give, your presence is felt, and your experience, what you've been through is enough to kind of inspire. So the Three of Swords reverse tells me that a lot of people kind of miss you when you're gone, and I think that a lot of people hold on to those conversations that you've had to them, and I feel like you're always spitting facts or spitting one-liners that people really kind of take, and they may even repeat it back to you, and you're like, did I say that? Are you sure I said that? With the Three of Swords reverse, there is this feeling here of people kind of coming to you for very specific reasons, and even your close loved ones. I mean, we'll talk more about them in the extended reading, but even your really sort of, that's what this part is about too. Those people that actually like get to know you, they really just hope that if it is too much for you, and if you are taking on too much, and if you are genuinely sad, or if something is genuinely difficult, you'll let them know, and you won't kind of take it to a point where it's too much to carry. Because I feel like this is a group that could have struggled with mental health, or could have struggled with trauma, or maybe all of the above, because we've got this Neptunian energy that's in distortion, we've got the ego that's in distortion, and then we've got this oppressive energy of the Ten of Wands and the Three of Swords reverse, telling us that we've had real life experiences that have contributed to how we see the world. And the ones that know us best, what they find most attractive about us is how we haven't let that limit us, and how we are honest. And they really want you to be more honest if you're not honest enough, because they value your honesty. It's clear that they value your realism, and they value any energy they get from you, and they value your hard work and your ability to push through challenges and make it look easy in their opinion. So let's have a look at your self-love card now to wrap up your reading. Your self-love card is saying, surround yourself with your soul tribe. So Spirit's closing message in terms of what makes you attractive is to really, for you beautiful bright light in the sky, literally as a star. Make sure that you're giving yourself enough time with the people that fill your cup up, with the people that make you feel good about yourself, and with the people who feel like your soul tribe. Group 3, make sure you're giving yourself enough time to be this aspirational person that you are, by genuinely being your authentic self and gravitating to people who bring out that best side of yourself. Your self-love card is encouraging you to invest energy in those that make you feel more like the person that you are, because people, all the other people, they only get to see that best side. I feel like you don't get a lot from those exchanges. I feel like they get more. So make sure that you're investing your valuable time with people that genuinely get you into this authentic character that you deserve to feel like. You deserve to feel like the best version of yourself. So that's what I'm seeing for you, Grupus Thripus. I'm going to take this into the extended now. Let me read my little list. In the extended reading, we're going to have a look at why your guides are proud of you. We're also going to look at your strengths versus your weaknesses. And remember, this is still a gas up reading. So when I look at your weaknesses, I'm not just going to roast you. Often your weaknesses are variations of your strength. So it's going to be a positive way of looking at your weaknesses. And then we're going to have a look at who you are attracting, what qualities they are attracted to most, and how to stay in that energy if they are someone that you want to attract. So that'll be in the extended reading. The link is in the description box. If you're an Amethyst Hermie, it's already included in your monthly subscription. So all you have to do is be signed in, and you can have access to all 3 groups. I just want to reiterate, okay, Group 3, please make sure that you click on Group 3's extended reading. So many people accidentally click on the wrong group, and it takes me a long time to go through those emails and actually get get back to you. I can't exchange extended readings. I can only refund you if you've accidentally purchased the wrong one. So please make sure you click on the right extended reading. You are group 3. I'm counting 3 like that. You are group 3. Anyway, before you go wherever you're going, thank you so much for all of your time, your energy, and your support. I appreciate every second that you support me, this community, and free tarot on YouTube in general. And I hope to connect with you very, very soon. Bye.